Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Blender Robot Manufactory. The project for today is, so this is the Decelerator. It's the vehicle that takes you from the spin section of the station to the center of the station. And, I just put this in game with some like rotating screens in here the other day. And it's looking pretty good. I should probably open up Unity to show it off. So, I need a switch in the game. So let me back up. The premise of the game is you're this robot who's trying to escape from the space station. And as a security measure, they've thrown this switch that locks down access to the Decelerator, that vehicle I was showing you, unless you, throw the switch again, maybe insert some key cards in it or something, and override the security lockdown. So, in gameplay terms, basically, this forces you to go through one level before going to a different part of the level. So let's just have a quick look at the Decelerator and how it works. Hopefully it's working at the moment. I've been making a lot of changes to it. Oh, and also, you remember that issue with the back wall flickering right near the Decelerator? I actually did figure out what was causing that the other day. So I'm pretty excited about that, although I'm still seeing a little bit of shadow or some kind of issue here. So I'm just going to have a look real fast. Not very bad though. Just like to keep looking at these things and making sure that I'm keeping up on the bugs. Man, this is just so tiny on this screen. So this is let's go see if this thing is casting shadows or what. Okay, cast shadows off. I think this one's good. So let's just maximize. Yeah, actually that looks fine. So going up to the Decelerator, you can see I've got these screens in here. I also reworked a little bit how the... Give me just a moment. I'm distractible today. So I reworked a little bit how these screens work, and you can see I just pressed a button, and this is actually the less interesting thing that the Decelerator does. So right now we're just traveling over to the other side of the spin section. And I've shown this on stream before, but I figure going into the episode about working on the Decelerator, I should show off the Decelerator. Alright, so the dock extends and we can get out. But then if we press this button for dock C, and this is what we won't be able to do until we overcome the hub lockdown, or whatever I wind up calling this. So then this thing goes along the edge until it spots the central dock C. Matches reference frames with the center. And we're totally weightless because we're not under any spin. But then this thing starts moving again, and we've got some gravity because the Decelerator and the spin section both act as centrifuges. So we're pulled towards the outside. Then we stop again, we're totally weightless, and we can go and climb up this ladder and jump around the microgravity section. So, without further ado, here's that Blender Robot Manufactory intro you've all been waiting for. We'll be right back. Hey there, my name's Jory, and this is the Blender Robot Manufactory. I'm a 3D artist and game designer currently making a roguelike platformer in Unity 3D. On this live stream, I give a window into my process of creating models in Blender. We'll be learning the basic commands and techniques I use to create a range of designs for my video game, from furniture to robots to animated human characters. I'll also show how I create models for use in 3D printing. Since we'll be focusing on my personal workflow, this channel will not be a comprehensive course, and many features of Blender will never be covered. However, this channel is meant to be a great jumping off point if you've never used Blender before. We'll also be covering topics that are interesting at any skill level, like what makes a good design, how to generate ideas for unique creations, and how to compose shapes in three-dimensional space to create models that look great from any angle. So whether you've never made a 3D model and would love to learn, you've been doing it for years, or you just want to hang out, relax, and enjoy my process, please tune into the Blender Robot Manufactory on Twitch TV. And we are back. So I've gone into this file because there's one other thing I'd like to show you. And this is something I added to the elevator, not the Decelerator. There's also an elevator in the game that just goes up and down in the spin section. I added this to the elevator a while back and wound up taking it out because I didn't really feel good about. Yeah, I figured I should put a disclaimer in there so the lawyers don't start trying to sue me. What does IKR mean? Also, how are you doing today, Corpus? So, I wanted to show something else, which is these key cards that I put into the game a while back. Let's see if I still have one of them that I can throw around in here. Yeah, I think this is still something that works. Let's see if I can spawn one of these in here. Oh, I've been doing good. I kind of had a busy morning. Hey, Ibums, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm from Mars. Yeah, so as you can see, this is using totally different city, no infighting. No, City, that's only for Dika's channel. We don't do that here. Okay, yeah, so you can see this thing looks pretty weird. That's because this is something I made a long time ago. So I think I'll need to shrink this to half its size, change the shaders around, and do some work on this. Yeah, no bowling, City. But I'm thinking you insert... Yeah, I completely grew up on Mars. I don't know any of the abbreviations. Yeah, so I don't know why that's jittering around like that, but basically, after I fix this thing up, you insert it into the key card reader, it spins around the cartridge, and then it, like, eats the cartridge, and maybe it unlocks the Decelerator then. Oh yeah, so since it's your first time on the stream, Ibums, This is the game I've been working on for years called Creator Crate. And pretty much every stream I'm just working on stuff for the game. So it's about this robot called the Creator Crate. And, oh, thank you. Yeah, I was watching Ibum's stream yesterday. It was a lot of fun. So the Creator Crate is this appliance that was manufactured in the space station. And its ability is it can eat objects and turn them into other objects. So let's see if we can find something else. Yeah, so here's a chair over here. Yeah, I think you should follow him, City. So then, like, I just ate one of these chairs, but since I ate this stool, I can just keep making chairs until, I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed your stream, Ibums. So yeah, I can just keep making chairs until I run out of matter. And then let's actually spawn in some tools so that... Sorry, brain freeze. I'm spawning in tools so I can show them off. Okay, so here's a bunch of stuff. And we don't get to play with the ladder because it just got dissolved in acid. But we got a few things. So we've got a fan, a knife, a pistol. So again, I can just keep making knives because I ate one of them. And I can do things like swing. Well, if I can be coordinated enough. I can do things like swinging around on the ceiling with the knife. And the fan can be used to hover in place and do longer jumps. Or you can hover items in place with that. You can shoot things with the pistol and also tunnel through walls with that. So it does take a whole lot of ammunition to actually get through one of the destructible blocks. And you see that the sky is rotating. That's because this whole thing is a gigantic circle. Where the space station's one gigantic wheel. So let's actually turn on all of the rooms so I can show it off. Might be just a moment to get all these activated. Let's see, yeah, so here's the room we were just in. Move over here so you can see it better. Then zoom out a little bit. Can start seeing that the floor has curvature to it. Zoom out more, and the whole thing is just literally a gigantic circle. So if you walk around far enough in one direction, you wind up back where you started. And because it's spinning to generate gravity, it's a lot weaker up here near the center of rotation and a lot stronger outside. And if you travel to the central hub, there isn't any gravity. So let's actually move the player over there. Yeah, that should be good. Just stick them in there. And then mess with a few switches. There we go. So now the player can just jump from walls to walls because I'm in the non-rotating central hub. What's in the box? And you can also use the different tools for helping you get around up here. Don't actually, oh, there we go. So there's a piece of furniture up there that I can use to get some more matter. So, like, I can use the force from the pistol to help me maneuver in microgravity. Man, I figured that one would have given me more. Right, so what I'm working on is I'm making some kind of switch that allows me to restrict access to the center until the player jumps through some hoops. So, the center, there's going to be 3 different sections to the center. At least, well, really 4 sections. At least starting out, though I'm thinking that I probably will have something later on. Well, yes, there are spoilers in the center. I might have it so that areas switch around later on in the game. So you go through one story path and then there's a new section available or something. But you ride the Decelerator in here. On your left is the animal testing labs. Not exactly sure what kind of hazards are in here. I don't know, maybe vicious attack rats or something. On your right is the meat packing plant, and that's where they process. We do need a circle amount.
What's he building in there?
Yeah, so on the right is the meat packing plant, and that's where they pack up all of the meat from the vat meat, which I'm going to turn on now. That is this gigantic, horrible mass of cow meat in the center. And it's also, oh, you can't see this very well. It's also one of the characters in the game. So yeah, and I've only just started designing this section, but it's going to have just everything covered in saw blades. It's going to be a horrible mess getting through here, and you probably won't be able to avoid the saw blades unless you've got a fan so that you can blow yourself through it. Then back here we've got yeah, I'm hoping this section isn't going to be too frustrating. I guess it's got some inspiration from Super Meat Boy. So then, up here. Oh yeah, the saws are totally in. You can throw people in them and stuff. So then up here, and most of these maps I haven't really made yet. Like, a lot of this stuff is just placeholder. Since I want each one of the sections to, I want each one of them to have its own dangers, its own themes and everything. So up here is like the shipping container storage. Yeah, it's pretty fun trying to get through here. I've actually tested this, so I know I can get through it with the fan. You could probably get through it with a pistol too, but that uses ammo and would be a lot harder. So, yeah, with this, it's going to be filled with gigantic wall-mounted fans that you need to throw switches to reverse the flow on them. And sort of a puzzly section, but probably some other dangers in here too, not really sure yet. And the two most important things here in the center are the docks on either side of the central hub. And you're going to need to seal a spaceship docked at one of these in order to get out of the station. Yeah, that's a good question, Corpus. There's a lot of stuff on this station that isn't up to code. Oh yeah, so the reason that I added that saw hole is what I've been working on a whole lot lately in the game is gating off areas so that you need to go through each area, get the item or the switch or whatever, and that allows you to go through the next area. Yeah, it's just all the Wild West out here. So then let's switch the player out here again, see if that works. Whoops. It's a little tricky teleporting the player around. Well, you see, it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, so they're just in a Whoa. I need to start this up again. It gets a little mad at me when I'm teleporting the player. Yeah, so they're just in a section of space where handrails were never invented. Oh, hey Squish, how are you doing? You know, some parts of the gating have been trickier to code than others, but it's like what I'm doing right now with being able to turn off gravity in this spin section is probably the trickiest coding part. A lot of it's just a bunch of map and level design stuff. Yeah, exactly. They just have different priorities. Oh, nice. So, do you have anyone playtesting your game yet, Squish, or is it still a bit early for that? Okay, so let's go ahead and spawn and stuff. And then maximize again so you can actually see what I'm doing. So here's another one of these gate sections. This is the entrance to the supercomputer. And these electrified blocks will kill you if you step on them. Yeah, I'm still gonna be a while before I'm ready for some kind of closed alpha for this game too. All my work has been behind the scenes. Well, it's important to get that foundation in place. Yeah, so if I have the fan, Then I can just fly through this section. And I'm thinking this supercomputer section is going to be a whole lot of stuff like this, where you're still falling down a little bit with gravity, but it's very light and you just need to do a whole bunch of maneuvering with each jump. And then I go in here and it's just regular level. But eventually it's all going to be more like this stuff over here. So I guess I did set this up with some different maps than I've been using for the other stuff. These have a much higher jump required. Uh-oh. Alright, so I should make stuff in Blender. I made this one so long ago that all my settings are different. So the first thing I need for this key card is it ought to be half the size it was before. Let's see, so I should just shrink this down. Oh, and yeah, I made this so long ago that everything in the game was twice the size it is currently. But I still do really like the design for this. Turn on auto smoothing. Yeah, I think I can get this key card fixed up and looking nice. Now it's saying these are non-manifold. I should figure out why. Oh yeah, because this is a separate object for displaying what the key card is. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I think I'm using uBlock Origin and I haven't noticed anything yet. How recently have these Twitch ads been popping up? Alright, so let's scale 0.5. Come on, scale 0.5. Interesting. Yeah, I'll keep my eyes out for those. As far as I know, we're not using anything besides uBlock. Okay, yeah, so that's still pretty good. I don't think there's anything on here I really want smooth shading for. No, I use Firefox. That might be the reason. So now let's go ahead and put some texture on this thing. And by texture, I mean flat colors. So then, probably go with this similar color scheme I was using before on this. So yeah, just make these peg things green. And so here's another question about designing this decelerator lock. So I'm thinking that you insert these cartridges in order to turn off the lock. But the thing is that pretty much any item you're holding in Creator Crate can be destroyed if someone's shooting at you. The reason for that is that the NPCs, you're supposed to be able to use objects to shield yourself from fire. So if you're holding one of these key cards, it's probably going to be vulnerable. And I don't really want the player to, have to be completely unable to access the central hub if their key card gets shot out of their hand. So I'm going to either need to figure out a way to keep supplying these to the player if they lose it, or I'm going to need to make it invulnerable or something like that. I mean, I guess I could only supply one if the previous one gets shot or destroyed somehow. Trying to decide if this super thin edge is a problem. Well, yes, that is true. So if you lose the pattern for the key and they shoot the key, there might be an issue. Yeah, I'm thinking the Creator Crate, it's not human, and I don't really think it has much of a concept of gender one way or another. Let's see. Strain. Like maybe some people in the game call the Creator Crate she, but it's not really even verbal, so it's not going to argue with them. Yeah, something like that. Of course, the Creator Crate, it can reproduce itself if it goes, if you complete the right story paths. But it's doing that asexually, so I don't really know if that helps you out or not. Man, Twitch is gonna kick me out of the, it's going to make me turn the mature content tag on. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, here's a question for you. It, at what point do you start considering a robot a living creature? Like, if it can reproduce itself and it's a sapient robot, or I don't even know where I'm going with this. I don't know. At what point do you start thinking of it more like an animal and less like a machine? Man, the mesh on this thing's just all over the place. Oh, I see. So you need to make an edible robot before you can start considering it for having rights and being considered as a living being. Now that's very true, Ibums. We need to start making edible robots so we can have robot rights. Why isn't snapping working? There we go. And then same deal with this one, I guess. Let's make it a different color. It's really weird going back to old projects. You know, and messing with them some more. Like, I still really, really like the design on this thing, but I just hate the way that the mesh is set up. Well, that's, you see, I got nothing. I was gonna make a joke about that, but I got nothing. My brain is so out of whack today. You know, I completely forget that the ticker's down there. Yeah, I thought I had something clever to say, but it turned out I didn't. Ludo. Ludonarrative dissonance is when you need to make a section made entirely out of saw blades and then justify it later by saying that they've got bad safety codes in this universe. The gameplay part requires the level to be made out of saw blades, but it's a little weird for the story. But you do it anyway because a game's gotta have challenging bits. Alright. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, at what point does a saw blade become an animal? It's basically like a rotating tiger. It's that Ludo, etc., etc. Those saw blades gotta eat too. And then unwrap this thing. Put some color on it. Maybe just a red stripe across the front of it. There we go. So this thing goes into the slot. Whoa. I set the origin to the center of this. I go, well, forget how far out this was. Wow. Okay, yeah, it does that. Then this whole cartridge goes into the wall. And maybe I'd like these to be a lighter color. Yeah, that's a good definition of it. Okay. So now I think I'm going to set this up as an item in the game again. I suspect this thing looks really weird now. Yeah, like I don't know, something I don't want to do is I don't want to force the player to kill anyone, because that would be another example of ludonarrative dissonance. If I'm making characters who live in this game and having the player empathize with them and everything, I don't want to also have the player just murdering everyone they come in contact with left and right. Of course they can. I mean, I'm not going to stop the player from killing everyone in the station. So then, key card labels. What kind of material is this anyway? Let's just say Sprite default. There we go. So that's our new key card. And there's some things I need to set up on this that I put on every item. It's a bad material and it should feel bad. So now, usually I just find a piece of furniture that's already set up and copy some properties from that. First of all, this needs a box collider. I don't think I'll be doing an animator on this. Possibly several box colliders. Yeah, so it's already Thursday. Does anyone have any fun plans for the weekend? I'll probably just be hanging out and maybe doing some more programming. Maybe playing Euro Trucker. Oh no, go for it. Sounds are always appropriate. Let's see, so yeah, just work in Corpus. Yeah, the thing about colliders in Unity is you want to set these up with enough colliders that behaves basically how it looks it should from the shape of the model. But it's a whole lot cheaper for processing if you don't actually make the collider shape using the mesh. So usually for things in Creator Create, I just set them up so that they're using a bunch of box colliders, and it works just fine. Sometimes sphere or capsule colliders when I need them. Let me see, so I just need to figure out how I can do this with the least number of these. And for some games, what they do is they still have a mesh collider for the objects, which is the same shape as the object. But they make it a lot lower resolution than the item. I think there's some limitations to mesh colliders for physics as well. So I think I'll need 3 box colliders to really make this right. Yeah, so we've been having a lot of fun playing Euro Trucker lately. We just started getting into this expansion where they've got you hauling around these oversized special loads. So this morning we were trying to deliver this gigantic box of science equipment.
What's in the box?
So let's see, I'll just copy this rigid body and station physics from this one. I think they're a lot of fun. So, what part of it is just that's really relaxing playing the game. It's neat seeing all of the little towns and streets in this simulated Europe. Um, I think it's a lower key fun than something like the game I'm making, where things are trying to kill you constantly. And some of it's challenging, some of it isn't. It's a bit challenging trying to park. And, I don't know, you get speeding tickets and crash the thing every now and then. But I think part of it's more relaxing and less action-packed than some games. It does kind of reminds me of playing Kerbal Space Program, though. You know, a lot less explosions than Kerbal Space Program, but still kind of similar idea where it's very simulationist. Okay, all that should be good. And I think I need to set Pick Me Up as a tag. And then, let's say items, tools, key card. I'm just deleting these prefabs. And there's one other thing. We need to go to our unique object manager and add, whoa. Add a prefab for this thing. And now, with any luck, I can throw this key card around and see what it's like in-game. Yeah, that sounds about right, City. You know, something else that I think about thinking of Euro Trucker is so we sometimes watch slow TV, which is basically just like several hour long video of a train going along its route, or just like someone boating along a stream or something. And you kind of get a similar thing out of it, though Euro Trucker is a little more interactive. Yeah, so that looks pretty good. And I think I'm going to set this up so that there's some kind of screen in the lockdown device that's similar to what we have in the Decelerator. Oh, and thank you so much for the follow. How are you doing, my concerts? So I'm going up to the Decelerator. Maybe I'll have two screens like this. So that'll help. It'll help you see what's going on. Just maximize this. So thinking about how to make this unlockerator. I need something that's telling you you gotta put maybe 2 key cards into this thing to unlock it. These are the hardest design things, where you need something with a very simple purpose, but you just need to really hit the player over the head with what it's doing. Of course, if you just needed, I mean, it might be enough to do a single key card in here. Just some of these screens that say hub under lock down here. And then some kind of key card slot. Key card goes into it, spins around, goes into the wall. Yeah, I'll just do that. So going into Blender. And I think I'd like to make a folder in the game for this. Creator Crate, Assets. I actually changed around the script for this screen rotator a little bit since I worked on it last time. This would probably be equipment. So, what do you mean by that, Corpus? Like, how often do I modify GIMP and Inkscape and Blender or something else? So then I'm just going to make a new folder. We'll call this Key Card Reader. I laughed so hard one time when I watched a Skikmo. Oh, I don't know. I mean, we update them every now and then. I mean, pretty much whenever new updates come out, except for Unity, where I leave it at the same version constantly because everything breaks if I update it. So then first thing I want to do is I append the Decelerator because that's got a box that's the right size for these screens. You know what that means.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Oh, pretty much never getting into the source code of the applications. I don't even have that much in the way of add-ons for Blender. Though there's quite a few that I've got my eye on as soon as they stabilize for Blender 2.8. No idea which one of these I need. Do you do a lot of modifying the source code for the applications you use, Corpus? Yeah, like I feel like I'm pretty decent with programming in C# for Unity, but I haven't gone into a lot of programming outside of Unity. I actually wonder how different it is. Like, I am, been wondering just how much of what I've learned for working in Unity is completely specific to making games in Unity, and what I could use making other things. I don't know, doing website design, that would probably be a different language, or writing other kinds of applications, or just all that stuff. Oh, Forage, how are you doing? Okay, so now we've got just the box. Then just move this to the center. I don't think these are quite square. And then I'm going to save this thing as the key card reader. Equipment. And normally I set this thing up so I set things up so that, you know, I'm working in a different project folder. But this thing's going to be pretty simple. I imagine that most of its animation and everything's going to be done in code. Man, yeah, we gotta save.
Save 3 times. It's a magic number.
Yeah, there's only a few things I've gotten off of the asset store. I'm using a shader heavily from the asset store that I've tried and failed to modify. And, I've also got an add-on for saving, the game inside of Unity. And I've set that up to work, but I don't know, it's not currently implemented right. It took a whole lot of messing around with the code to get it working in the first place. So what I'm working on today is I've been setting up the Decelerator so that at the start of the game it's under a security lockdown.
What's he building in there?
And then what the player needs to do is you find a key card, you put it into this machine I'm making, which also has a screen that says hub under lockdown. It reads the key card, and then then these screens rotate around. It eats the key card, and then this thing can travel to the center. Of course, the trick is just setting this thing up so that it's incredibly clear what you need to do to get this thing working. So I don't know if I need a picture of a key card or what. I mean, the key card is at least going to have something written on the front. Let's go down here. So like right now it's got a label that says C1 on it. And it's basically going to need to be 2 letters long. Maybe just a symbol or something. But I'm thinking if that symbol is on the key card reader, that's probably enough information for the player to figure out they gotta put this key card in it. Multipass. Multipass. Okay, so something else is, I know I'm jumping around a lot today. I gotta take a quick look at my elevator script and see if maybe I still have the old code set up. Multipass. So then, elevator. And I apologize for all the flickering. And I wrote that code so long ago that lets something like this card reader work in the first place. I think I need to totally re-implement that. I probably won't like how it was set up anyway. So yeah, maybe I'll be doing a little programming for that after I put this in. Okay, so the two screens go inside the box, and then I should append the key card itself. And I should also get a back wall in here so I can see how far back this thing needs to
What's
be.
in the box?
What's in the box? That should have worked. Come on, stream
Does it
it.
come with batteries?
Could we charge extra for them?
Is it safe for toddlers?
How do you know when you're finished?
How do you make it stop?
Then we need Blender Robots, Models, 2.8. Oh, thank you, Hellforge. Yeah, we've got a Discord. That's a great place to hang out and share what you're working on. Oh, speaking of which, Hellforge, what have you been working on lately? Yeah, we believe in sound effect socialism. Items, equipment. We want the wall console, maybe. Here we go. This is what I wanted. Oh, awesome. I want to see it. Man, that's looking great. So here's the truck, or let me move this up a little. Here's the truck that Hellforge TV is working on. All his lights are really cool. I'm really digging the little Suzanne head down there as a hood ornament. So then, I'm just going to set this up like I set up pretty much all the alcoves in here. So we've got this frame around the thing. This extends a little bit into the back wall. Move this to a different layer for a moment. And then, oh no, I think this will be asymmetrical. But I'll make a separate object for the key card reader. So let's append the key card. That is going to be an items, tools, key card. Yeah, and Stream Elements wants to put the sound effects on a chit system. But we said no, Stream Elements. We don't use itchy and scratchy money here.
Is that all there is?
But it was a big pain getting Stream Elements set up, so it didn't give us a bunch of messages when we used it.
Yoink!
Does exclamation points do anything? I mean, I think the Stream Elements technically has put us on a point system, whether we like it or not. But as far as I know, it does nothing. Okay. So just move this way up. The really funny thing is, I feel like I've totally implemented this key card thing before, but it was just so long ago it got completely lost. Well, so much for itchy and scratchy money socialism. Just like the goggles. The goggles, they do nothing. So I think there's going to be a little reader that pops out here when this thing spins around. Remember the other day I was watching Corpus's channel, and you were doing a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions. You're better at it than I am. The goggles, they do nothing. Okay, so like some kind of reader pops out. We're going to have a label across here. Maybe I should just make that a square. And that's going to mirror whatever is on this label that you need to open the thing. Yeah, City was trying to get me to do accents this morning, and not actually good at them. Also, usually I'm too shy to try to do them. So, okay, let's delete only the face here. Hey Galactic, how are you doing today? Right, then bridge the edge loops. So yeah, there's going to be a square sign here that's saying pretty much the same thing as this label. Then can I bevel these? Yes, I can. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, what have you been working on, Raven? So, what I'm making is a little key card cartridge reader. This thing goes in here, it spins around, then the whole thing just goes and then disappears. Lately I've been stuck on blend trees. Oh, so, is that the, Unity Mechanim blend trees? Or I guess it does something a little different for 2D animations, maybe. Oh, no, I am using, like 3D animation blend trees in Creator Crate. Not sure how similar it is. Oh, yeah. So let me go into Unity. Gotta say move. Just gonna get rid of this. So let me see if I've got any blend trees we can look at. Probably the human actor controller. So which, what are you stuck on with blend trees? Right, so the arm left uses a blend tree. So how I set this up was, well, let's go back to the layer. Right click, I say, create new blend tree, go in here, and then, oh, I see. So, that wouldn't actually be a blend tree. It would be, come on, delete the blend tree. That would be an animation mask. So, I've got all of these set up with animation masks. So let's just go into the main folder so I can show you. Basically what you do is you right click somewhere in your project. You say, well, let me do this in test objects actually so I remember to delete it. Right click, say, oh, and I should move this over a little more. Okay, right click, create, and then we need, believe it's avatar mask, and name it test avatar mask. So then go into here, and not sure if it's quite the same if you're doing 2D animation, but at least if you're doing it for bones in like a model you made in Blender, you can set it to be humanoid, which is good for retargeting animations. You can select which parts are masked off. So if I unclicked all of these, then this would just animate the head and nothing else. Or you can set it up for something that's on an individual model. So let's go ahead and look at a model. Characters. Oh, whoops, I navigate away from there. Let's go down here and say, just find a model. Let's do station guard. And then say import skeleton. Yeah, that's what I was wondering about. So, yeah, if it's not a system that's set up with bones, that's probably a little different. Figuring out how to combine two animations at once. So is it like a pixel animation? Man, yeah, that sounds tricky, blending two pixel animations. Wonder what kind of stuff Unity offers for that. Let me see, so... Yeah, now I'm really curious how you go about doing that. Like, I could think of one way, which would be maybe having a different sprite for the torso than for the legs, but there's probably a better solution.
Will it blend? That is the question.
Will it blend? Just making sure that my human is still set up properly. Yeah, she's fine. Yeah, don't breathe that. So is that for the game where it's a space shooter, but then you get to the planet and it's a 2D side scroller? Yeah, I'm really curious to see how that one's coming along. It's a great idea.
Will it blend? That is the question.
Will it blend? Whoops. That's not how you do sounds.
It's time to save the project.
Will it blonded?
What's he building in there?
Okay, so there's no room for this to move up, but it can move back into the wall. What does exclamation points apartments do? We totally stole the idea of having station sound effects from Galactic Raven. She's got the original stream with sound effects. Right, so there's no room for this key card to move up since those screens are above it. But maybe it can move to the left. Damn.
Oh, you mean like eyeballs.
Alright, so then... yeah, it's a secret one that we don't put in the sound effects. I need to look up how to spell it every time I want that to work. Oh, it's okay. Everyone here is cool. Just can't let this get out to the general public.
Do you fancy some surströmming?
So I think that this key card reader should be a little smaller than the rest of it. And then I'd really like to expand this label a bit. Do you really, Hellforge? Is that something that you ever crave, or is it as inedible as it sounds? I don't even eat regular fish, so it's hard to imagine eating that. Oh yeah, the riffraff would just parade the surströmming all over town. We never hear the end of it. Now I don't want to block off what the screens are showing, but it might be more interesting design-wise if this is overlapping a bit. Yeah, everyone, what's the worst food you've ever eaten? And I will remind you that this is an all ages channel. I think I don't know. Like my parents had weird ideas about the healing properties of sauerkraut. So when I was a kid, they made me eat entire bowls of sauerkraut. That was pretty horrible. Oh wow, cooked lettuce. That just sounds limp and awful. You don't like your mom's cooking, Hellforge? Yeah, so I think you'll still be able to read the screens if this thing is popped out over it a little bit. Yeah, my parents were also really into prune juice. It was pretty terrible. Okay, so that might really be all this needs, aside from some kind of card reader, little gadgetry in here. Yeah, that's a good question, Corpus. I've never heard it from anyone besides my parents. Really, their enchiladas are that bad, City? She once tried to make cinnamon buns, but accidentally used powdered paprika. Wow. You have to wonder if any good food has ever been discovered that way. Someone just tries to make something, messes up an ingredient, and then you've got some kind of brand new food. Okay, so I need to start combining these into one object. This thing can be separated for a moment. I'll just paste it on there. Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know if I've tried paprika all by itself. Paprika has kind of a dirt-like flavor, right? In a good way. So that's how you wind up with surströmming. We need the UV image editor, go to palette, and put some color on this thing. It's got to be something that contrasts a little bit with the background. Contrasts with this key card, rather. I mean, maybe even solid black for the inside of this. Ooh, but I should not do that as the first part, because it'll be very hard to see it. Oh, so paprika is just dried, ground up bell pepper. Yeah, that wouldn't taste like much. Okay, so that's pretty readable. Then we've got this slot that some kind of instrument comes out of. It's the instrument slot. And the rest of this can be blue too. Yeah, I'm sure I've had things with paprika in them. I've probably cooked things with paprika, but I don't know if I've ever really taken the time to taste it and see if I even liked it. I don't know. City of Corridors cares a lot more about food than I do, though. Like she cooks some amazing stuff, and I keep it pretty simple. Yeah, no, that is one thing in American food that, well, United States food that people actually care about is chili and chili peppers. Yeah, lately City's been making this sweet chili breaded fried tofu that is super super tasty. Yeah, maybe a red border on this. Just keep putting little divisions and stuff on this until it stops looking so much like a box. No, it's super good, City. It's very tasty. Meanwhile, I'm the kind of person who seriously considered making Soylent a big part of my diet. It didn't quite do it for me, but it came disturbingly close. For people who don't know, Soylent is like this, it's this food paste, I don't know, there's a few different varieties of like food paste things, but Soylent was one of the first ones. And basically it's like, it tastes like and it looks about like pancake batter. And I probably would have been sold on it if it was a little cheaper, a little thicker, and had a little less of a taste. I don't know, maybe for Science City. Now you see, then you're doing cooking, and the whole point of Soylent is you don't have to cook. You just kind of mix it up and bam, you got food. I've actually seen online people doing Soylent recipes, and it seems like it completely defeats the purpose of it. Yeah, you get it, Corpus. No, if you want pancakes, you get a pancake mix and actually make them. Well, I mean, they didn't quite win me over, but, I don't know. There's new food substitutes coming out all the time. So I'm not saying I'm never gonna try it again. Yeah, we are talking about peppers. Corpus was saying that paprika tastes like nothing. Are you really 50 health Forge? Is that cryogenic life extension gel is really working? No, I figured we'd establish that you crawl into some kind of immortality tank every night to hibernate. This pulls out more. Okay, that's starting to look more like something. Yeah, all I know is it lets you be immortal. And then we need more agreeables. Just keep greedling the thing up. But not so many agreeables that you stop noticing the important bits. And I think I need a few more chords or something on this. Yeah, let me take another look at that. Got some really good detail on it right now. I don't know, I think you might be about ready for texturing. And then cut across here. No, I thought that was constraining it. For some reason it didn't work. Say cut, constrain. And it didn't actually constrain, that's weird. Oh, is that the reason? Oh, I see it. It's constraining relative to the camera. Hey, FLML. How you doing today? Okay, that didn't work. Of course, I really ought to have a mirror on here, but that would be some trouble moving it to the center, mirroring it, then moving it off again. So I'll just deal with it. What have you been up to, FLML? Yeah, that's true. If you wait until after October 31st, that jack-o'-lantern's gonna start rotting.
I'll get my coat. No, wait. I'll make my coat.
coat. The Christmas battle semi is the Halloween battle semi, but then you just keep adding Christmas ornaments on top of the Halloween stuff. So what I'm working on, FL, is I'm making a key card reader for unlocking the Decelerator, which as you probably already know, is this vehicle that goes to the center of the station. So it's got screens just like this on it, but then it has a little cartridge reader underneath. So what you do is this cartridge is something the player carries around with them. And that goes through a little sequence. This cartridge goes in, slides over, and then you've got the Decelerator unlocked, and there's little screens that spin around. No apples allowed whatsoever. Now that's a great question. I did learn this year that there is like just a built-in add-on for making clouds. You just plug it in and it turns your mesh into a cloud really easily. I bet people use the particle system in Blender for smoke. But I don't have the first idea how you'd set that up. I got some weird music in this playlist. Yeah, so as far as I know, Blender has a pretty good particle system, but I've never messed with it. And anything I did with it couldn't import to Unity. So the only use I'd have for this game is maybe pre-rendering some stuff and then putting the images from the renders into the game. Okay, yeah, let's cloudify the NPCs. So, if I can remember how. Absolutely no apples. to the RM models, characters, scale comparison. And let me see if I remember how to do this. Probably not. See if I even have the add-on. This is in user preferences, add-on, cloud. I've got the cloud generator. I forget if it's in here or what. And yeah, I haven't messed with that stuff at all. So physics. Could have sworn it was over here and not a modifier. Man, but I'll have to look that up because it turns out have no memory whatsoever of how I set this up, unless it's down here. Oh, cloud generator. Generate cloud. It's thinking about it. Stream might be crashing. I don't know, I think it's loading a cloud, but I may have just crashed Blender. Wow, it really doesn't like that. Let's exit Blender and try with a cube. One of these characters might just be too high polygon to do that. Well, let's keep messing with it. I do have the cloud generator. Thought it was right down here. Oh, okay, and create. Cloud generator, generate a cloud. Okay. Yeah, I think that was a little high poly for it.
Sunlight.
I've given you rain. I really shouldn't delete these things until I know what it's doing. Okay, so make a cube. Generate the cloud. And then I suppose I'll be needing a camera. Good enough. Go to render mode. Add a light source. Does this work? Nobody knows. Okay, I really figured that would work. Hey Keter, how are you doing? So, I'm making a little key card reader that unlocks the Decelerator in the game. But I got sidetracked by looking at the cloud system. Not quite sure why it's not working though. What if we actually render? Oh, that's a good idea. No, here we go. So we need to actually render the thing. It doesn't work in rendered mode. But yeah, now we've made a happy little cloud. And as you can see, that's just generated off of a cube mesh. So you can imagine what it was trying to do with cloudifying characters. But I will try again, because I think it's important to cloudify characters. There, I said it. Documents, Blender Robot, models, characters, scale comparison. Maybe just one character though instead of all of them. Okay, let's just get them positioned. Yeah, so I'm using Blender's add-on for cloud particles that turns a mesh into a cloud. Mostly just for fun. I don't actually have a reason to be doing this. Let's see if it crashes the stream doing this again. Hey, it worked. So now maybe it's a cloud, we'll see. Okay, it's what you've all been waiting for. It's a person as a cloud. I hope it's as magnificent as you were all hoping it would be. Yeah, fun is a good reason to do things. Now let's change around our view on this a bit. Pull this back, have another look. Maybe move up a little. And render. Yeah, I think those are his lapels. They're just kind of bagging out all over the place. But yeah, that cloud kind of looks like a person. Like if someone saw this cloud in the sky and maybe they needed new glasses or something, they might say it looked like a person. Oh no, that's useful, Hellforge. Where is that in? Oh, very nice. I think that worked. Praise Suzanne. So what have you been up to, Keter? Working on anything fun? Oh, go into camera view and move the... Oh, I see. Thank you for the advice. I wonder if there's like cloud options in here. Or if it's just kind of your one-size-fits-all cloud. No, just degenerate. So what have you been working on for your game? Okay, so let's just do straight ahead, see if it looks more human-like. That's a pretty good one, City.
I'll get my coat. No, wait. I'll make my coat.
And there you have it. We have cloudified a character. So this is the main thing I'm working on. It's a little card reader for the video game. And this is going to be a sign saying which card reader you need. Card goes in here, reads the cards, the cartridge goes in, and then some signs rotate up here. Oh no, it did it. Oh, nice. So, what do all of those do? I've been working in Unity for a while, but I've never used Cinemachine. Also, what kind of story does your game have? Okay, so then I'm going to separate the sign. And then if I just, yeah, if I unwrap it, it should work. You can take a square texture. And I think I should scoot all this stuff in a bit. And yeah, I don't know if it needs a whole lot else. I don't want to make it too busy. Gonna put a little more inside of the card reader. So this is going to need to extend forwards more. I would really like it if I could get one more edge in here. Knife tool's funky sometimes. Oh, I see. So Cinemachine is for cutscenes. Yeah, I don't want it to be like that. What's your idea, Hellforge? Oh, I see. So again, probably really useful for cutscenes. Okay, for the Christmas battle semi, have the Christmas tree be a massive rocket. I like it. Yeah, so the stuff I've been working on in the video game lately, it mostly has to do with just laying out the level a little more and really gating off the player's movement so that they need to get one item to move to the next part and then get a key card to move to another part and stuff like that. I've been watching a lot of videos about good coding practices in Unity. It's given me a lot of great ideas. And someone posted to the Discord the other day a really great tutorial about working with state machines inside of Unity. And I really think I am going to wind up implementing some of that, especially for the NPCs and how they behave. But it seems like I could apply it to a whole lot of things to really improve them. Where is this edge coming from? Yeah, Suzanne's gonna have all kinds of adventures. Keep thinking I should fire up my 3D printer and print out a bunch of Suzanne heads. Don't know what I'd do with them. If we did Christmas tree decorating, we could put those all over the tree. Yeah, Suzanne's basically like a mouse. Close enough. I'm pretty sure monkeys are her sworn enemy anyway. So I need to apply some kind of material to this. But probably gray. I don't want it stealing too much focus. Okay, then back to the card reader. Try to get something that looks a little bit like the cartridges. You know, a while back there were these vinyl toys that were really popular called like Money, I think, Munni. They were like these big-headed doll things that just come in white vinyl, and you're supposed to draw on them and decorate them yourself. I don't know if they were actually popular or just popular with the kind of people that my brother used to hang out with. But it was a fun little thing making them and decorating them. And I'm thinking you could do the same thing with 3D printed Suzanne heads. Extend this some more. There we go, that's kind of fun. So this goes. Maybe it could even be a little more interesting. It could kind of come out like that. Yeah, that's fine. No microtransactions. Although you did say I could be a Captain Planet villain if I put microtransactions in there. Hey, Wormius, how's it going? Yeah, we could make it like that Harry Potter game. You gotta pay $5 more to keep the children from being strangled. Did anyone else hear about that? We watched this show called The Gymquisition, which I don't know. He's usually pretty spot on. It's like a video game industry show where he highlights different controversies in the video game industry. He has a whole lot of videos about sleazy AAA practices. Oh yeah, the guy who makes the Gymquisition is just constantly angry. Yeah, I could definitely see how you could Corpus. Oh yeah, maybe I could have this going like that. Something like this. Just keep greebling it up. Yeah, but the reason I brought him up was he was talking about this Harry Potter game where it's like a little phone game. It has microtransactions, and you gotta keep pouring money in or the story doesn't progress. So like your boy wizard's getting strangled by a living vine, and you gotta pay money to get Harry Potter or whoever out of the situation. Okay, and which way does this go? Over there. I think I want some kind of slot right here that moves back with it. Yeah, it really does, Corpus. And here I am making a non-child strangling focused game like a sucker. Like a sucker. So this is going to be a little tray that grabs onto the cartridge and then moves back with it. Maybe I'll just raise the whole bottom of this thing. Like, there is no reason it needs to extend beyond the bottom of this. I love the fact that all the parental groups get their collective knickers in a twist. Oh no, where are the priorities? Yeah, that should work. And I wonder if I could just parent this thing to a bone or something for the animation. Might even be simpler if instead of actually placing the key card item in here, I just had one pop in, and these are all going to be identical aside from what's written on them. So I could just have a key card be part of this model. I I make it visible. I play the animation where it goes back, goes in. And, you know, instead of trying to move around the keycard game object. Oh yeah, and we need colors on... Oh, that's actually good. Okay, I might... Or, wait, no, I need one more thing. Maybe a few more things. Well, you do make a good point, City. So this is the mask that allows you to see the inside of this thing, even though it's going into the back wall. Oh yeah, you're really getting your money's worth. Okay, so while we're at it, if anyone cares about Harry Potter, who's your favorite Harry Potter character? Let me think. It's been a really long time. Luna Lovegood's pretty good. Ron's your favorite Wormius. Let me think. So I think I'm ready to actually or wait, no, we need to look at the back wall. Put all this in place. What's even on this layer? I need to make sure that anything behind this back wall has a mask over it. It's probably just this right here. Yeah. Harry Potter series got really dark when it started introducing the house elves and all of that stuff. So then dissolve the edges. And then this needs to be flipped. So I think most of this can be one object after I get it all rigged up. I think I've probably seen around 3 of the movies. A few of them were pretty good, but I never got that into them. Oh, no, and I wouldn't say I'm a big Harry Potter fan at this point, but I was really into the books growing up. That is the fun thing about the Harry Potter series. It goes from like age 11 to age 18, so the tone and the themes change a whole lot as it goes on. The Hughley games. You know, I'm usually not a big fan of movie adaptations of books, but I thought that the Hunger Games movies did a great job with that. This is the mask. Move this over here. And I think I can actually join all of these together, except for this disc, which I'll need to separate before adding a bone to it. Card reader. The Hangry Games. What? Okay, the back wall does need to be its own thing. Move this down here. And all that should insert into the wall. Okay. Oh yeah, another thing is I probably need some smooth shading on a few of these. Do this too. We have mesh display in here. I always forget where to find this. And time to make some animations. You know what that means.
It ain't no sin to take off your skin and dance around in your bones.
I wish all series were numbered. Yeah, so which series aren't? Like, you mean like how Aliens goes to like Alien Prometheus after? I mean, it starts with numbering, but eventually it just turns into just naming it. You know, the thing that's even worse than not numbering them is making a remake that has the exact same name as the original. Okay, so the bones. The disc. Then we need 1 bone for the disc. Let's forget what the key is to set the origin. Here we go. Selection. What? That ain't it. Cursor to selected. Selection to cursor. Yeah, it's been so long. I mean, I agree that everything's worse than Alien and Aliens, but I seem to remember liking Aliens a whole lot, so I don't know if I'd agree with you on the first two. Okay, so what other bones does this need? One for this reader DLA. And anything else to animate on this? I guess one for the main key card. And one for the root. Yeah, it should be good. Key card. Yeah, speaking of series taking a dark turn, Aliens 3 was definitely like that. Like, right out the gate, they kill off the kid who survived Aliens, and then it just gets darker from there. Disc is a child of keycard. Reader. Oh, and this thing, I guess it just moves with keycard. Yeah. Oh, I know what else it needs. It needs like a little gate that just shuts when this thing... Oh, I know. Yeah, this just moves over here when it finishes reading it, so you don't keep trying to insert key cards in there. Okay, and this is gate. Yeah, I just watched Predator for the first time recently. Really enjoyed it. Okay, gate, reader, disc, keycard, and root. And I'm being pretty brave today, making a model without versioning. Just saving it directly into the game. So we're going to need an armature modifier. This can actually be combined into the rest of it now. This is called the reader. And they've got a whole lot of other bones on this. Oh, what else? We've got disc, key card. You have made me watch Delicatessen. Though I wouldn't say made me watch it so much as enjoyed watching it with me. That's the same director as Pan's Labyrinth, right? Maybe we need a little smoothing here. For some reason I thought it was. Then key card. Oh no, that's incorrect. This is disc. And just select all this stuff. It all goes onto key card. But these labels need to be a separate object. So then I'm going to, okay, that's also gone armature modifier. Assign it to key card. Then this thing gotta be assigned to gate. Oh, I see. Gourmet Samurai. It's a mini-series on Netflix. So is that all that happens, or I don't know, are there also samurai battles? don't even know what this is. I just felt like since this is moving over, we need to greeble up this area a bit more. Or it's going to look really plain when that sign isn't here. This playlist is so weird. This one's just a guy singing about how his kids stay up too late. It's gotta greeble it all up. And then what do you do after that? You add more greebles. And then you bet those greebles are gonna need some greebles. So, sorry if my memory isn't very good, but what's Food Wars about? Assuming you haven't already told me. Had a cable or two in the background and 1 1/4 of a cogwheel. Oh, now there's an idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, maybe we'll put some cables on it. Like some going right off from here would be good. These parts can go in a bit. Yeah, that's a great idea. Although I'd probably put them outside of the card reader. Let's see. Let's just move this over for a bit. Like the inside of this already has a lot going on. So, come to think of it, maybe let's see how it looks without the card. Okay, move this back here. Masks can go down there for now. Okay, that looks a little less basic, moving this out. Yeah, I don't know. Let's Let's see what this looks like without the card. So I think a little more in the card reader would be a good idea. What is this? The screens. Move that down here. Yeah, you absolutely need to see Cowboy Bebop Hellforge. Yeah, I do like your idea of putting some wires back there. Oh, it's too late, City. I've heard everything. You seriously do need to watch Cowboy Bebop, though. Bet you'd really like it, too. Yeah, Cowboy Bebop is like the best in all categories. The best hard science fiction, the best anime. And beyond being really high quality and great storytelling, it also has great music in it. What am I at? That's not bad. This goes up here. What's this little piece? Oh, I see. It's curving all the way around. What? Because you abused your powers on iBums? So I think I'll just plug these into the back wall. Yeah, you're a real menace. To be fair, it is the modding environment iBums is used to. What's going on back here? Okay, curve. I just need to subdivide. Food Wars is about a high school student. That does sound pretty entertaining. Okay. What? Mesh from curve, mesh from curve. And I don't think I need to cut off half of these. They're not that high poly. And, oh no, I might skip the cog in here. Don't want so much detail in here that it doesn't silhouette well. But the wires were a good idea. Is this thing still a Bezier? You've been threatened before by City or just in general? Oh yeah, she'll really push you around if you let her. There we go. Just a little subtle detail back there, nothing much. That's right, Corpus. You gotta stand up against the tyrannical modding in this channel. Clementines are really where it's at. Okay, and then make this darker. don't know if that's too busy now. And the primary purpose of this thing is still to communicate to the player you're supposed to insert a key card in it. Yeah, I think that's all right, though. So, what does this do to the rigging? You can't get away that easy, City. Okay, then move this back. No, it's probably my fault for... No! Come back, City! No, it's my fault for being a supervillain. I was just saying on the Discord earlier today that I want to be a Captain Planet villain. Okay, back wall, remove that. Okay, and what does all this do to the armature? Not much. So this thing... This thing... Is that all that needs to go on the root bone, maybe? Yeah, I think that's correct. And these wires also need to go to the root. Is that the Chuck E. Cheese, like generic Chuck E. Cheese equivalent? Nah, Captain Planet is like this blue superhero that is summoned by a group of children with magical rings that have elemental powers. It's about as weird as it sounds. And they fight pollution, and all of the villains have like over-the-top names like Hog Greedley and Seagull Mutilator. And then select all this, make it smooth, it all gotta be smooth, and assign it to the root. Okay, and maybe I'm ready to Yeah, I don't remember magical rakes in that. Oh, rings, yes. Yeah, like rings that they wear on their fingers. It's true, it really does. Yeah, and then, like the five elements are earth, water, I'm sorry, earth, fire, wind, water, and heart. And the kitty's got the heart ring, controls animals. And even though I only watched it for like a year or two when I was 6 years old, I wound up thinking about Captain Planet a whole lot. I don't know, magical rakes would be more interesting, wouldn't it? By your powers combined, I am Leaf Raking Planet. And then at the end of every episode, after they defeat the villain made out of radioactive toxic waste, there's always a little portion at the end where they tell you to recycle or something. Alright, so let's make some animations for this. That's pretty funny. Yeah, that's even worse than a regular circle of rakes. Okay, so let's just do card reader idle, or let's say, I don't think it will have two idols. It'll just have one. No, it has two idle animations. So open idle. Just insert all of the stuff. Except, oh no, this goes like up here. Yeah, the real danger of the magical rakes isn't just one of them. It's that you run into a whole field of them. So that's good for the idle. Why isn't it saving that? Then we're going to have card reader scan. Insert again. And let's say it takes, 5 frames for this first part. Maybe it goes up here first. And then at like frame 9, inserts into place. And then like nothing happens until frame 13. Except, hey Sniper, how are you doing? Didn't one of the Ultimate games have just like an X-Wing crashed in a field that you can steal? Like that the programmer is just stuck in there somehow avoiding a lawsuit from George Lucas. What have you been up to, Sniper? Okay, and then zoom in on this timeline a bit. Say that I'll insert this here, insert that, and then when this comes down, maybe this jostles a little bit, goes in. Then they return to normal. Oh, I've been doing good. Oh, it was a Kilrathi. For some reason, I thought there was a literal Star Wars vehicle in there. Yeah, so what I'm making is this is going to read a little key card cartridge and then allow the Decelerator to travel to the center of the station. Yeah, that sounds really cool. Do you have any pictures of it, Sniper? Oh, really? So you're saying I didn't imagine there was a Star Wars vehicle in there? We gotta look this up. Ultima TIE Fighter? All right, that's an I'll get my coat moment for sure.
I'll get my coat. No, wait. I'll make my coat.
Yeah, I don't know. City's the one who's actually played the TIE Fighter games. And beyond that, we can also have this jostling a little. What about some scaling too? Oh, that makes sense. So what kind of procedural generation are you doing? Sorry if I've asked this already. Like with Creator Crate, it's mostly, it's like predefining the connections on each room so that each one has an up, right, down, and left connection, setting those, and then assigning maps that I've that are handmade to the rooms based on those connections. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, I see. So I'm guessing that's the Kilrathi fighter. Why won't you scale? Yeah, and maybe this thing can scale out too. Yeah, I guess that kind of communicates that those are the same. At least adds a little juice to it. But I think that animation should be a little later. So copy this, put it here, only do location rotation. Maybe even all the way here. And then we can come down into place. And stay there for a few frames. And then it's going to do a little scanning. So let's say that this rotates maybe 5 times up to frame 40. So say 360. But maybe I don't want an even number of rotations, so 320 times 5. That may be a bit much. One element of it is a way to use real-world foliage growth. Oh, I see. That sounds pretty cool. So I'm guessing that's a little more in-depth than just putting it through a random number generator to scatter the trees. Are you going for something a little more realistic and simulationist than that? So then I think this needs to be way farther out. End it at like 80. But it needs to be doing more rotations than that. Pull this out. And that never actually took. But what if it's not just spinning? Or it's not just spinning like that, so I should make this more complicated. That's what I always say. Make it more complicated. Maybe 500. Then like negative 460. Yeah, you're just trying to get those loot boxes in again. Man, that sounds super cool. So are you putting things like ground weathering in there too, or is it all plant-based? And then a little more. Say it goes there. And then while it's doing this, like this is here. It backs up a little. Goes forward a bit. Goes back to normal. Then I need to extend these into the wall a bit. And this is the part where I regret making all of this one mesh. Okay, that's pretty cool. Then this thing should also be doing stuff. Goes up here. What's in the box? Hey, Legmonk, how are you doing?
What's in the box?
Great news, I've just... Oh, man. That's pretty steep to read the message. Man, I can't wait to see what that looks like, Sniper. What have you been up to, Legmog? Assuming that there's like a free version of the message. Yeah, I guess we'll never know what's in the box. It could be anything. And then like one last big rotation. Just have this thing moving furiously. Man, I didn't know you had Legmok Primo. Legmok Prime. Does that mean you get a lot of, you get Bright Spark delivered to your door in a cardboard box? Okay, so this thing's going to 700. And then here, let's say we're doing 720, just a little spin down. And maybe move this out. And then, yeah, it's gotta suck up all the data wormies. Man, that's worse than Comcast. Comcast has officially been added to the list of companies who want to sue my stream. Okay, then I think at 10, 11, this retracts into here. And maybe leave it like sticking out just a little. But first it goes all the way in. And then it bounces back a bit. No, I just keep saying bad things about companies, so I figure it's coming. Like the other day, I'm pretty sure we were bad mouthing Disney for some reason or other. And then it goes into the wall. Well, automatons for tomorrow, they're abolishing money once they take over the world. So it doesn't matter much anyway. Then this goes way back here. And then, yeah, I think maybe it creeps forward a little. You know, that's true. It was for a good cause. The other times, I think it was just criticizing Star Wars. And let's just do scaling, insert. Maybe a little more subtle. You know, I don't think I like that scaling. No, if they ask if they ask, it's a Suzanne head. I'm pretty sure I'm okay with Suzanne because she's open source. Otherwise, Blunder's added to the list of companies that want to sue the channel. And then it just retracts into the wall. Maybe it even goes back here just so it's totally invisible. Oh, and that was scaling. I don't want to insert scaling. I want location rotation. That's way too fast. Yeah, that's about right. It is circular, so you can basically use your imagination. Cat Galaxy. Gotta see this. Oh wow, there's so many of them. That's amazing, Lake Mog. You've done good. This is going to live immortal on the internet forever. I know, now that keyboard cats can stop lording it over us. Okay, that's pretty fun. think this thing might be a little cheesy. Boing. Maybe tone that down a little. I gotta see this again. Not for the Shutterstock logos, just because it's amazing. Also still not seeing them. So is that Cinema 4D? And there's one other thing I'm thinking for this. You move it in. Okay, there's something I don't like right here. Where this goes. I'd rather keep that still right here. What, really? So is that what happens if you zoom out far enough in Google Maps now? Yeah, you know they only put that Shutterstock watermark over there to challenge creators. Otherwise, it would be too easy to make dancing cat videos. Okay, so this is almost there, but there's actually one more bone I need. So move all this over. Insert everything there. And we need just one more bone. Actually, leave that here. So let's see, this one is key card, should really be card reader. Yeah, I can leave it key card though. Now all this stuff needs to go onto card instead of key card. Now that's a fun image. So you just have friends come over and ask for cat dancing videos. Oh, well, that's really sweet. Yeah, does City get to see some special cat universes? Hey, Paz, how are you doing? So then I'm removing these from key card, adding them to card. Oh, I did a bad thing. All right, so remove it from card, assign it to disk. What is this doing to my scanning? Okay, it's still all good. But this, I still need to make sure it's removed from disk, assigns to card. What other bones is this following? No, City, you have to stay and moderate. Oh man, so City's riffraff too. I don't think anyone can afford this super awesome deluxe leg mod cat dancing videos. Okay, and this goes to card. Let's see if this works. Okay, perfect. So now, just put this over here when I'm not using it. And then it just magically teleports here. I'm pretty sure it would have the exact opposite effect at Hellforge, so I wouldn't recommend it. That's pretty funny, Ibums. Okay, yeah, that's about what I wanted it to do. And then, Let's see if cleaning keyframes messes it up. I think I've got a lot of scaling I don't need in here. Okay, that's pretty good. So then grab all this, go to idle, insert. Then I need one more for after this thing closes. Yeah, just keep cutting off pieces. So then grab all of this, and we're just gonna need one more animation. What I call the last one, card reader closed idle. And insert that. And I think this thing might actually be ready to start putting it into the game. Yeah, but just like one of them, not all of them. So you gotta find the right window. Cool, so that's pretty fun. So when the player puts the card in there, the card disappears from the player's hand, gets destroyed. One pops up here, does its little reading thing, this goes in, then the screen switch. Yeah, and I'm really happy with that. Yeah, or maybe the player travels to a different universe, and that's when you get the cat dancing galaxy. So I think now that I've got that all set up, maybe we'll go ahead and call it a day. But let's go ahead and see if there's any awesome streamers going right now that we can host. Let me just see who's streaming at the moment. Yeah, let's go ahead and raid Jolt Jab. It looks like he's working on his game in Unity. It's like a procedurally generated runner where I believe you're trying to catch someone. It's looking really cool. And also, if you're not already on it, our Discord's a great place to hang out and oh, so this is like a cartridge reader pass. What's everyone been saying? Swedish national anthem. And thank you everyone for watching. So we'll be back next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And I hope you'll all stick around to raid Jolt Jab with me.